Pac-12 still not playing a fall season. SEC, ACC, and the Big 12 are. And the Big 10 may join them again after backing out a few months ago, or about a month ago, even less. The Big 10, there are rumblings that they could play this fall. They could play in a couple weeks. They could play starting in Thanksgiving. We don't really know. But there are at the very least discussions, and things are still up in the air. Maybe not so much in the Pac-12. There's no buzz coming out of there yet. There's a lot of drama with Larry Scott, the conference commissioner, again. But I don't know, Jack. Do you think that the Pac-12 should at least consider coming back or ultimately come back this fall?
No. The Pac-12 should not be back until 2021. You do not have the time, nor the resources, nor the persuasive power, if you're the Pac-12, to convince your schools to do that. The Pac-12 has a lot of academically inclined schools. Now, other conferences do have some, but let's be honest, the SEC does not have the Stanfords, the UCLAs, the USCs, the Cals, the Washingtons that the Pac-12 does. I can't see Larry Scott convincing schools, even if he had a perfect plan in place. Unless he had utopian bubbles out in Hawaii where he could fly the guys, you're not playing this season. You can't risk that.
See, I do think that it is probably unrealistic. It is unrealistic. But considering it isn't the worst thing. Just discussions, just keeping the possibility open. You don't know. Maybe the ACC gets 3 weeks in and there's no cases.
The ACC has already had cases. They haven't even played a game yet.
Once the season starts. But, I mean, you don't know what can happen. You really don't. And if the Big Ten come right now, you're the Pac-12. They're comfortable in not playing. I understand, because the Big Ten's also not playing. So they're not alone there. But if the Big Ten reverses their decision, that puts a lot of pressure on the Pac-12 to do the same. And they would be alone. They would be the only Power 5 conference sitting out this fall, and that would have repercussions lasting far beyond this fall in football and in other sports too. So I don't know enough about the medical data to say, oh, you absolutely can come back. It's obviously safer not to play, all things considered. But if they do have the resources and they are willing to put them in a very timely manner, obviously, it's a rush. I think you have to keep the possibility open. If it's just a 1% chance, it's a 1% chance. I'm not saying you have to come back. But if other conferences are reversing their decisions, then what's the medical info that they're getting? Maybe the Pac-12 should come back. We don't know. So I think it's best to keep the door slightly open, just so they don't end up in the dust when this is all done.
Do not keep that door open. Here's what the Big Ten got. The Big Ten got a phone call from the president saying, hey, open back up. You know who didn't get that phone call? Was the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is not going to get the resources nor the support from either fans, nor students, nor any governments on the West Coast to open back up. So there's already that. You already have to contend with all of that. There's no way you're convincing the students, the presidents of the universities that, yeah, we can bring the athletes back here, but regular students, no, they have to stay home. That's not going to fly. That's not going to fly in these institutions. Don't leave the door open. All you're going to do is cause chaos. Look at what has happened with the Big Ten. They had an 11-3 vote. They've shown that, hey, the majority of our presidents didn't want to play, but they've left that door slightly cracked, like, oh, maybe we'll come back, maybe not. And their fans have just gone berserk. They're demanding that either they come back and play immediately or that they're risking all these kids' lives for nothing. And I'll be honest, I think they're risking their lives for nothing, but that's up to the conferences to decide. Just choose one way or another and stick with it, please. Don't tease your fans like this. Just choose and stick with it.